Hi everyone, welcome to Leadup, making leadership style simple. I'm with Jin and Naveen, and we are going to answer some simple questions that sound simple but aren't simple. So, what is leadership? Leadership is all about getting things done through people, influencing and empowering them. It is not about the job titles or hierarchy, it's only about influencing people. The qualities that matter most are self confidence, self trustworthiness, and ability to build teams. None of those qualities requires a job description. They are the things anyone can develop.
I have a question for you, Ankit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if leadership has nothing to do with the title, so what does it come down for?
The people who actually lead are not always the senior ones. They are the ones others turn to because they are calm, consistent, and clear. Real leadership shows up in the moment, not on the organization chart.
Okay, so would you say everyone has the potential to lead?
Absolutely yes, and that is one of the important things to understand about leadership. It's not about the fixed rate. It is something you grow into by choosing how you show up every day. So what do you think leadership means to you, Naveen?
So, for me, leadership isn't really about authority, it's more about like influencing and responsibility. And it's about how you guide people and how you make decisions and how you create an environment where people are comfortable contributing themselves. And also, before this module, I associated like leadership with a position like someone is in charge of us, or maybe but now I see it more something relational. It's about how now people experience you, not just the role you hold. And I think it's experience we have in our day-to-day life. Like I give you an example. Like right now, we are doing a podcast and someone is leading us. Maybe you're leading with the questions, and we are just adapting yours, and we are helping others. This is how I think. It's lead. Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Leadership is a practice, not a position. The moment you start influencing how others think, feel, or act, you are already leading. The question is whether you are doing it intentionally.
Leader versus manager, what's the difference?
So Ankit, everyone says leadership and management are different, but aren't they basically the same thing in most sports shop?
Yeah, manager plans, administers, and focuses on systems. They ask how and when. A leader innovates, inspires, and trusts. And the status quo, they ask what and why. The simplest version, manager do things right, and leaders do the right thing.
Yeah, but you need to both, right? Can one person really be both a great manager and a great leader?
Yeah, the best people in the sport organizations combine both. If I give you example, I give myself an example because everyone is a manager in their life. I manage my time very effectively, and I'm a great leader too, because I have the ability to influence people in a very ethical way, in a very uh, in a very ethical way. So when I used to work at Decathlon, I was one of them who stood out to influence people in a in terms of trustworthiness. So they bring consistency and order, but also vision and moment. The skill is knowing when to switch between the two.
So Ankit, can you give an example, like an example like you're inspired by?
Yeah, so when I used to work at Decathlon Sports, I have actually influenced people in terms of trustworthiness, how to lead in a very effectively way. And one of the teammate after that came up to me and told me, Ankit, it's really great to have you in the team. So I felt like I actually able to add value in there. For me, adding value in terms of how someone perceiving you makes you feel like, oh, you stood out as a person and importantly as a leader.
Yeah, so the pastorate ethic unders it all. Everything like Ankit said raises a question that I think gets skipped too often. What kind of leader do you actually want to be? And that's really a ethic questions. Morality is a code we live by ethics. It is more conscious reflection on that code. As a leader, it's not just following the rules. It's about regularly asking, Am I doing the right thing and why?
What do you think? Does authenticity shape leadership?
So I think this is a really good topic where in this module I really struck was as authenticity plays a huge role because it builds trust, and if a leader is not genuine, people can usually sense the quite quickly. For the as you can see the guest lecture we have of Stevie Ward, we had this and my perspective for authenticity is isn't about like oversharing or being like for informal. It's about being consistent with your work, like what you contribute, what is the real you are leading to, and the consistency makes the people feel more secure. In a way, authenticity makes leadership more human. It and also shifts for being performative to being more honest and relatable. So I think it's like that gives a shape where it's proper leadership and not just acting what you aren't.
And the question is, how does a leader make ethics actually stake a team or organization?
You have to model it behaviorally every single day. Do not just put values on a wall and forget about them. People people look to you to understand what actually is valued and how you handle difficult conversation, how to respond when things go wrong. The very most important aspect of a leader. This is a signal.
Okay, so the part for ethnic and transformation leadership, we will focus on ethnic leaders, build stronger relationships, higher trust, and better performance. In sports, where people sacrifice so much to be part of an organization, a society is not a nice to have, it essential.
So, Ankit, I have a question for you as well. So, what does authentic leadership actually look like? It's one of those phrases people use a lot without really defining it.
Definitely, it starts with self awareness, knowing your values and being consistent with them. It idolizes influence. You act as an ethical role model to them. Inspirational motivation. You give people a clear and compelling vision. In individualized consideration, you actually pay attention to each person and what they need. How what what are the ethics important in leadership and how does it make your lives? Can you give some example?
So basically, like I think what keeps leadership accountable, and I can say without it, leadership is can easily become self-serving or unfair. And in everyday life, I see like ethic in small things. For example, in a group work, maybe we had some presentations before. Like if someone is leading, or maybe someone is having some different ideas, we have to adapt them. We have to learn from that ideas as well. So or not taking like shortcuts that is for a disadvantage for others. And it also links to leadership styles like transactions and transformational leadership, which I'm working on it as well. And this is like the transactional leadership can sometimes focus more on the outcomes, and whereas transformational leadership tends to align more with the ethical value. And because of it, it considers people on a long-term impact. So for me, a ethic is abstract. It directly shapes how I act and how other people perceive me. So yeah.
And the question is ask yourself, do you want people to follow you because they have to, or because they want to?
Exactly. That's over to you.
And the contrast to that is transactional leadership, reward or penalty.
Transactional leadership works on performance reward logic. You deliver, you get rewarded. It can work in short term, but it does not build our relationships and a deep commitment. Transformational leadership builds the kind of commitment where people show up because they want to, because they are.
And the question is ask yourself, do you want people to follow you because they have to or they want to?
Exactly that. Over to you, then.
Okay, so the part 5, one style doesn't fit all. Great leaders don't have one style. They read the situations and adapt. The heart of situational leadership is assessing two things about each person: their competence and their commitment. Your style as a leader changes automatically.
Songit, why does that actually look like? What are the different styles you mean?
Someone with a new high enthusiasm but low skill, they need a directing style with some clear instructions. Someone highly skilled but unmotivated, they need support, encouragement. Someone both skilled and motivated, you delegate and step back. One size does fit it all. How can you apply leadership style in your life, Naveen?
Mm, so I think leadership shows up in everyday situation more than we realize, and it could be some responsibilities like managing some key points, or maybe also some presentations or like meetings, or even we have to like communicate with people. For me, it's about like taking initiative and listening actively and being aware of how I can contribute to the group. Like now I'm doing some contribution as well, and it's not about leading all the time, but knowing when to step up and when to support others, because the support to others matters a lot. Because if we keep on leading, I think the ideas what others have might not be adapted to me. So it's like we should also learn from others as well and support them. So it's a better uh, impact on us. Like we get a positive impact on it. So when we step in and when we support others as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much to listening to Leadup. See you in the second episode. Bye bye. Take care.